So, Saturday games for Heineken Cup, Champions Cup. All the home teams getting wins, except for the one game which ended in a draw. Pretty interesting round. Lots of high scores, pretty much every team getting into the 20s or above. A few not quite so much, but yeah, I got to see two of these games in full, which was the Munster Gloucester game and the Saracens against Lyon game. All the others I've kind of seen highlights, so yeah, it's been interesting, and a few kind of key talking points from each of these games. I'll start with the first one, which is the Munster game. Cipriani's red card is probably going to be the main talking point of that one. He had a sending off for a shoulder charge, or a hit with the shoulder to the head. There was one angle that didn't look too bad, but one angle that looked pretty bad. So it is the way they ref the game nowadays. If you make contact with a player's head with your shoulder, you're going to be in hot water. And that's how it ended up being. It kind of stinks that it was in the first half, and you know, you want to get more entertainment out of your game. You don't want it to be 15-on-14 for large periods, but it wasn't, because Munster had a couple of guys off towards the end as well. So it was very rarely 15 guys on each team. There were a lot of cards. I think 4 cards, 3 yellows and a red in this game. So it was very busy work from the ref and his TMO. Lots of tries. I think at one point it was 36-10 to Munster. Carberry getting, I think, at least a try and I think 2 try assists. So he had a pretty big game. It was interesting as well, because after they had the man up, Carberry kept putting these kicks through and nothing was coming of it. And just as I was starting to think, what are you guys doing? Are you unable to unlock a defense, which is a man down? Then they just went bam, bam, bam and scored a bunch of points. So it made me be very quiet. Yeah, Gloucester, though, they didn't give up to their credit. They came back with a fair bit of dominance in terms of possession towards the end, especially in that second half. They ended up scoring a couple of tries. Not quite enough to get anything out of the game. But 36-22, when you've played the lion's share of the game with a man down, is still, you know, it's not anything to be shamed about. A lot of kind of scrappy stuff in this game early, with lineouts, neither side really going that well. The scrums often getting reset, a lot of free kicks. So I don't think either coach will be entirely happy with this game. Obviously, Ackerman with the cards is not going to be too pleased, and I think Van Graan, the way they kind of took the foot off the gas towards the end, might be a little bit perturbed. But I mean, 5-point win in the bag. Deny your opponents any points. Can't be complaining too much. At the end of the game, the territory and possession was actually more for Gloucester, which is interesting, having a man down. But line-up percentages, Munster 63, Gloucester 75. So neither of those all that to write home about. Tyke Byrne was pretty immense in his breakdown work and the work at the maul. Like I said, Carberry a try and 2 assists. So pretty good stuff. 12 trees for Gloucester, I thought looked alright as well. So yeah, not a classic, but as I said, if you're a Munster fan right now, you got to be pretty satisfied with that. You're sitting first in the pool on 7 points. Gloucester dropped down to 3rd, so kind of happy days there. And the next one, it was another game with a red card. It was Castro against Exeter. It was 29 points to 25 in the end. There was a red card in this game to Castro after, I think it was about 17 minutes. And that was when Exeter were up 14-7. And somehow they still managed to lose the game. So pretty disappointing stuff from Exeter so far. They'll need to bounce back ASAP, because they are sitting 4th in their pool on 3 points. Castro are in 2nd with 5. It was tries to Viale and Mafi. Mafi's one particularly impressive. For Exeter, it was Cordero, Kovacic, and Steenson. But again, it wasn't enough. I mean, when you look at the stats of this game, bear in mind I've only seen the highlights. It looks like Exeter probably could have done a job. They had more run meters by a fair bit, 444 to 239. They had more position and territory, kind of 60 to 65% in that department. They had a higher tackling percentage, although they did concede a few more penalties. It was 15 to 11. And yeah, not able to get it done over a team with a man down is pretty disconcerting. I mean, I guess Castro at home are going to be a tough prospect. Cordero had a great run for his try. He beat 8 defenders in that entire game, which was a great stat. After Murphy's break, he ended up with 9 defenders beaten. Sorry, I got distracted. I can hear my son crying. He doesn't want to go to bed. It's almost his bedtime. Slade got a yellow card in the 70th minute. The lead did change in the half an hour mark, so from then it was a lot of penalties kind of going the way of Castro to kind of just, man, he's really going for it. Trying to focus. Yeah, it was those kind of build-up of penalties, which was pretty costly at Exeter. As I said, they did concede more penalties in the game overall. Yeah, I'm not sure where they go from here. It has to be back to winning ways because they've looked really solid in the Premiership, but then the last 2 games in Europe have not been that great. As I said, I didn't see this game so in full. It was 19-all at half-time, but Castro just too good in the end. So if you did see that one, let me know kind of where it went wrong for Exeter, because in the highlights it wasn't all that clear. A lot of the stuff they seemed to be doing pretty well, and a lot of it was just Castro lining up kicks at goal. So not that much you can kind of tell from viewing that. The next game, Edinburgh, 40 points to 14 over Toulon. Man, what a big score. It was Toulis, Purgos, McAnally. That's how you pronounce that, right? And Dean. For Edinburgh, it was Taufi Fanua and Ikpifan for Toulon. So 4 tries to 2. 5-point game for Edinburgh. They move into first and they pull on 6 points. Toulon are dead last on the measly 1 point. Yeah, there were a fair few kind of good moments in this game. Purgos' try from that great little run from Matt Scott was a nice little highlight. Again, I've only seen the highlights for this one. The first try was from, I don't know, about a metre out, so it wasn't pretty, but it gets the job done. At one point, it was 26 points to 7. That was how it was at half-time. The front rows showed some pretty good hands for Edinburgh, which is always encouraging. Like, the one thing we always rave about here in New Zealand is the way our props handle the ball. Well, these guys, the hooker and the props, were doing pretty good work in that department as well. Kind of struggling to close out with that bonus point try for Edinburgh, but in the 73rd minute they got a real gift from Toulon, I guess kind of desperately trying to run the ball out from their own 22. Trenduk with a little pass straight to Dean, who went in for the try. But I mean, it's a great result for them. Bonus point win. I mean, Toulon's a big name, and they just got taken down. So it's statistically a fair result as well. Position and territory was pretty even, but Edinburgh with a lot more run meters, 581 to 402. Tackling percentage was higher, 88 to 82. Their line-out percentage was higher, but not great. It's 70% to Toulon's 66. So, yeah, even 1 point the Edinburgh prop tackled a winger going for a try. So Edinburgh just had the whole kind of complete package this game. That is a really, really impressive result. Again, I have only seen the highlights of that one, so I'm sure there's other stuff I missed. Do let me know what it was, but from what I saw, that was a really, really kind of impressive kind of bounce-back win from Edinburgh, where they took some chances that perhaps they might not have last week, and it really showed well. The next one, it's Wasps and Bath. They played out a 35-all draw. I mean, Wasps only scored 3 points last week, and now they've gone home and scored 35. It was kind of a crazy game. Is it Cock and a Singer or Thock and a Singer? Scored from a great run early on. They had to go to TMO for his touchdown, but it was a try. It was 7-0. Then it was 7-all with Bassett's try from a scrum move, and then some poor Wasps defence made it back 14-7 in Bath's favour. An intercept, 21-7 after just about half an hour in Bath's favour, so it was all looking peachy. Francois Lowe got a yellow card for kind of tipping a guy pretty much upside down on his head, but it was just a yellow card because the guy had his hands out, so I guess that's fair. And then something must have happened in that Wasps dressing room at halftime, because they came out firing in that second. They scored in the 41st. That was Simpson got a try with an offload from his prop, which was always impressive. And then they returned the favour. Simpson to the prop. What's his name? Giovannia? Yeah, that was really good because they They did it one way and then they did it the other within a few minutes of each other, and that made it 21-all. Wasps finally took the lead in the 49th minute, 28 to 21. So a big turnaround from half-time where they were down by 14 points. But Bath weren't to be counted out. They took the lead back in the 63rd. Simpson got another try assist. They evened it up 35-35 in the 70th, and that was pretty much it. Bath had another chance to win this game. Like last week, they had a chance to win it with a penalty. It wasn't Burns this time, but they missed the penalty, and that was in the 78th minute. And that was game. So Simpson looks to have had a real blinder. 1 try and 4 try assists. Rokoduguni had 132 run meters. That's very impressive for Bath. So Rokoduguni got a try as well. Francois Lowe scored a try, which I guess kind of makes up for his yellow card. Penalties conceded was only 4 apiece, which is a really, really low game. And given that most of the other teams on the board conceded more points for their one team, more than this whole game. Tackling for Bath was only at 77%, which is a bit disconcerting. Wasps were at 85, but still conceded the same amount of points. Wasps with a wee bit more possession and territory. But yeah, I guess 3 points each is not a bad return for a draw. But, I mean, it's hard to get ahead when you let the other team away with 3 points as well. So they'll be a bit disappointed there. Wasps are still in 4th on 3, and Bath are a point ahead, so they're 3rd on 4 points. The next one, Racing 92 against Ulster. So I got the French gear on today. A couple of French teams had a win. 44 points to 12 over Ulster. Again, I only seen highlights of this one, but Racing are top of their group now. They're on 9 points, first place. Ulster dropped down to 3rd with 4 points. It was 5 tries to 2. Shanahan and Stockdale winning for Ulster. It was Irabanen, Lore, Imhoff, Thomas, and Zebo for Racing. A little bit of controversy at the end with Zebo's try because he pointed where he was going to go before he scored the try, as his man was trying to come in and tackle him, kind of rubbing it in that he was about to score. Kind of poor form, but it looked like he apologised at the end, so maybe just kind of heat of the moment thing. A great start, though, for Ulster. They took a 7-0 lead. And then they got another try from a Stockdale. Stockdale took a cross kick, and that's when they had a man in the bin as well. So they went up 12 points to 3, despite being a man down early on. But that was the last time they scored, and that was about 15 minutes. So for the rest of the game, they didn't score at all. And you can't be doing that. And Racing certainly just piled on the points after that. There was one try where it looked like they had a bit of a knock-on in the lead-up, but it was still given. Tomas' try was pretty much length of the field from a little Finn Russell dink through. Yeah, there were definitely some interesting kind of like cross kicks through. There was some skill on display for this one. In terms of the stats, Racing had more possession, 55-45, territory the same. Interestingly, the Ulster had more run meters, so they weren't perhaps, I don't know, statistically they don't seem to be as bad as what that scoreline shows. They had a higher tackling percentage, 82% to 75, but they had to make a lot more. They made 147 tackles to Racing's 82, so it's almost double. But yeah, they walk away with nothing from this game. Addison had 7 defenders beaten and 7 offloads, which is impressive. Lowry had 159 run meters, which is huge numbers. Ulster had 2 guys who made 20 tackles, including Marcel Coetzee. So again, that's impressive. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Klim Zanik had 2 try assists and 5 defenders beaten for Racing. So yeah, still some guys who put in some shifts on that side as well. And Racing looked kind of hard to stop in that pool. I guess we'll see how they go. The last game, which was Saracens against Lyon. I watched this one in full. Yeah, 29 points to 10 is not, it's not like any of these, 40, 35, 44, 36. So they didn't quite get the same degree of points as some of the other teams, but it was still a 5-point win for Saracens. Kind of scrappy a bit in parts. I don't think either team really got full flowing, and I think both the coaches and the commentators seem to kind of have that opinion as well. I mean, Saracens are still sitting pretty. They're at 9 points. Again, it's kind of like Racing, first in the group, 9 points. Lyon, not doing too good. They are still stuck at the bottom without registering a point yet. Farrell got a penalty. Itoje got a great strip and then scored a kind of 50-meter try. He showed some real gas. And then Dusson had an error on his kick through, so Maitland went in for a try. So, I mean, at halftime it was 17 points to 3. But both the Saracens' tries had kind of been... They weren't like set plays or anything. They were just broken play. A strip and a mishandle. But they were taking their chances. They got another more try from Barrett, so it was 24-3. Leon did get a try in return, and then Lewington has showed some real gas to get that final try. They missed the conversion, but it was 29 points to 10 at the end. So comfortable. I thought they might not be going to get the bonus point, but they got that try in, I think, the 77th minute. It had been coming, but they finally just had to put the pieces together. It finally happened, so good for them. 60% possession in territory, tackled 89%. Their defense, I must give them credit. Where their attack was a bit kind of disjointed, Saracens' defense was just all over Lyon. They just couldn't get anything going. It was painful watching Lyon with the ball sometimes because Saracens were just driving them backwards. 89% tackling to Lyon's 75. Kind of shows the difference in the work there. I mean, Lyon's try came from a quick tap from a penalty. It's the only way they could break through. They kind of were denied. Arnold had a cruel bounce of a ball when he kicked through. I think a lot of other times that ball sits up for him and he just goes in for a try. But the ball, also like with Maitland's try, just didn't go Lyon's way this time. So sometimes that happens. Alex Good had a few good runs, showed a bit of gas. The Lyon defense scrambled enough. But, Saracens still got the job done with what they needed. Bonus point win. Itoje and Williams had the run meters. Liam Williams kind of back in the side, looked pretty sharp. Good and Itoje had the tackle bust, so a lot of good work from the Saracens guys. Yeah, we'll see how they go in their remaining games. But yeah, those are the games. Another bloody helicopter near my house. No, I don't live near the airport. I don't know why there's so many helicopters around here. But yeah, good games. Entertaining, like I said, high scoring. I think I haven't sat down and worked out the average, but I'm just at a glance, that seems like a lot more points than last week's game, so a bit more open, which is always nice to see. What did you guys think of the games? What did I miss? As I said, I've only seen 2 of the games in full. What have I missed? Who were the kind of standout players? What did you think of the results? How do some of these teams bounce back from here? Because like Exeter, I said, are in a pretty difficult place right now. Wasps, although they got 3 points, still winless. Yeah, Lyon, are they going to have any chance of coming back? I don't know, but you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.